couple days have been a little cooler. Kind of a chilly wind. At least we got some sun today. It's been kind of overcast the last couple days. They actually said it might rain yesterday. I don't think it happened. At least it didn't happen here. But nice to get a little sun, get out, get some fresh air with Miss Meg this morning. Thinking about the next project. Not quite ready to transplant the corn and tomatoes out yet. That little bit of breeze we have today is coming out of the north. So I might give those just a little bit longer. I would like to start some more basil seed, though. Get some basil going to put outside. I was watching this video last night. When you watch videos about seed starting, parts may fit your climate, other parts might not. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. Muffin lover, welcome back. How you doing today? I won't tell you my muffin story again. I've told it to you twice, right? Yeah, my corn is looking pretty good, and my little tomato seedlings are looking pretty good, but I think I'm going to give them a little longer. I might put them out for a little bit today, just harden them off a little bit more. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. I might put them out just a little bit today to keep that hardening off process going. The eggplant that I transplanted is doing really well. I'm hoping I get some more of that to come up. Eggplant does really nice here. So far I have about 5 that have germinated. Oh, her name is Meg. Sometimes we call her Meg the Monster. She's not really a monster. She's got an interesting personality, though. If she wants a treat, she'll bark at you till you get her one. Part of that is adopting a shelter dog that was mistreated and getting her to come out of her shell, right? Food is everything with this dog. She was really emaciated when we got her. Like, she's literally gained 30 pounds, if you could imagine that. You could see under her ribs. So I guess that would help her associate being fed with love, right? But she's a good girl, and she's a little snuggle bug. And when it's cool in the house at night, sometimes I really appreciate that she's a snuggle bug. Keeps us warm. She takes turn. I'm like, what are you doing laying on daddy? Get over here. But yeah, transplanted a few things out. Some of my medicinal herbs and the eggplant. And I'm kind of still working on my garden bed. I think some of the seeds that germinated that I thought were weed seeds might actually have been flower seeds. But nobody really needs that many flowers in their garden bed either. I like having some for the hummingbirds and for the bees, right? Look at that little dove over there, nested down. Not for long. These doves I just love them. They're not quite like the hummingbirds. I mean, they do have they take care of themselves. As long as they don't let their chicks fall out of the nest, they take care of themselves. We actually hand raised a dove during the dreaded sea because it got blown out of the nest and the parents weren't really taking care of it. And after that, I learned that doves actually are not good nest builders. Anyway, that dove went on to lead a productive, effective life as a dove. Had chicks in our yard a couple times already, which is pretty cool. Actually spend as much time as I can in the backyard. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Definitely been enjoying learning things like grafting and rooting for fruit trees. I'm a beginner, but I'm having some successes with it, so I'm pretty thankful for that. You hear those birds? Some mockingbirds. They go crazy. They're like, pick me over here. The loneliest mockingbird. So I'm still working on my soil prep. Made a lot of progress. And the perennial flower that I transplanted, and I put a bunch of the seed pods in the location. The rabbits seem to be leaving it alone. They did take a couple bites out of it, but they must have decided they didn't like it because it's still there. Funny thing about those rabbits, anything they like, they will eat it and it'll be like it was never there. They actually ate one of our cactuses that we've had going for about 4 years. It was starting to look like a baby Silbero. Originally it said barrel cactus, but it's clearly not a barrel cactus. But they actually ate 2 of those out of the front yard. So I'm glad I have more than one going in location strategically. I'm waiting for her to get serious, carrying a bag here for when she does. She really likes to dig in all of this leaf debris. What's funny about this leaf debris is this will actually turn black at some point. It actually composts here with the desert sun, which is amazing. We have a couple of compost barrels in our yard, and I keep adding yard debris to it and a little bit of water and rotate it. We've already applied compost once. That was from compost we made over the season, and maybe by late spring I'll have more compost to put around my trees, which would be great. Trying to get as organic as possible in our garden. We've also been fermenting rice water and adding some molasses to it. And since I make homemade vinegars, I already had a starter. Hey, Lex, is it Lex Nate or LSX Nate? Welcome to the channel. Good morning. So getting organic. Also adding this crustacean shell, which is called chitin, to our garden bed by mixing a portion of it with dirt and then adding that dirt to around the fruit trees and then also in some of the planters. And the theory behind that being that the healthy bacteria in the soil, which we're generating with our rice water, feeds on that, and then eventually when it's done eating, it starts transitioning to eating bug shells apparently. So like, can the bacteria literally attack the bug? I don't know. That would be awesome. Kind of get tired of dealing with bugs here. That's one thing that's a definite challenge. You definitely have to be very hands-on here with your garden and keep watching for different species of bugs to show up. Last year I had a fig eater beetle for the first time, and I caught it. Thank goodness. It was huge. I had to do a little research. I was kind of scared to touch it. It was so big. But whenever I encounter a bug like that, I just get a big jar and a stick and I knock it into the jar, right? That way I don't touch it. I don't risk getting bit in case it's a biting bug. Hey Ron, happy Thursday. How's your weather there in Maine? As you can see, it's pretty good here. Long time no hear. How you doing? We've just been busy trying to get some gardening done, transplanted a few things, got more things to transplant, more seeds to start. Still amending garden soil in some areas. Are you still in town, or were you able to go back to your cabin? We are enjoying a beautiful spring day here in the desert of southern Nevada. And it looks like we're going to have a little cooler weather. Oh, there's kind of a sundog around the sun. I don't know if that shows in the video. Looks like we're going to have a little cooler weather later this week. We've been having nice weather, highs around 70 and lows around 50. I got to get a bag out. She's ready to do her business. But we're going to have some highs of 60 and lows of 40 soon. And I know that's warmer than most of the country. But I can't get too far ahead of myself with my garden stuff. I don't think we're going to have a frost at this point. We didn't have one all winter. But you got to be careful. Some plants are more temperature sensitive. Okay, let Mama get it. Can I get it? Can I clean it up? All right, let me get it. Okay, give me just a second here. I'm glad you're doing good. Get this cleaned up. What a good girl. All right, let's go find that trash can. Glad you're doing good, Ron. It's probably the warmest winter I've ever spent. I think we actually walked just about every single day this year. There wasn't any day that was too cold for walking, which is amazing. Usually there's 1 or 2 days that you get wind and humidity and it's unpleasant, believe it or not. But almost year round here you can get out and walk. Sometimes you have to do it pretty early in the morning once the heat kicks in. Definitely going to be an interesting year here. Oh, we got some clouds coming in now. Going to be an interesting year here. I don't know if the mild winter will translate into a deadly hot summer, or who knows. We've been having La Nina, but I saw some talk of El Nino or La Nino rolling in some areas, so I'm definitely not the weather forecaster. I'm the weather observer. And how we determine if we had a deadly hot summer is if our pomegranates crack. Okay, so Ron, you were reading that the West is having low amounts of snow. Yeah, I was talking to a friend in Colorado around New Year's Eve, and she said they hadn't really had any snow where she was. She was actually wearing a tank top and shorts. And we definitely need some snowpack in Colorado for our lake, but right now our lake is doing pretty good. I think it's about 22 feet higher than it was. How far that'll carry us, it's hard to say, but we say thank you for everything we get, right, in terms of water here. And getting some rain like we've had has been such a blessing. Last year we had 15 days of rain that I counted in our area. Thanks for the thumbs up. 15 days of rain that I counted in our area. And so far we've had 3 days of rain since January. And they're predicting that we'll get rain over 2 days this week, like going into not the weekend. Saturday's supposed to be nice, but maybe Sunday and Monday. Usually that ends up meaning that you'll get 1 day of rain possibly, or some rain. Sometimes they say you're gonna get rain and you don't get any rain at all. Oh, you got lots of snow this year? That's right. You kind of got snowed in and had to get out. Right, Ron? I don't miss having to shovel 2 days straight to get out of my driveway. Boy, I tell you, that happened to me multiple times in Alaska. Fairbanks, Alaska. When I first moved to Fairbanks, they didn't really get a whole lot of snow. It was more dry. You'd get some snow. You hoped you got at least enough to keep your pipes insulated. But probably since about the time my daughter was 4, 23 years ago, they've had heavy snow like in March and November. But you never know. Okay, so you still have 3 months of winter left, Ron. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Those long, cold days are definitely for people that have courage and confidence, right? Mental strength. It's definitely not for weak-minded people, for sure. Usually in April in Alaska is when you figure out who all's suffering from light deprivation. Usually by April, you've got a lot of sun. By March 21st, you have at least 12 hours of light in Fairbanks. But people are so deprived from the many months of darkness there that some people really lose it by April. What are my plans for today? Well, I'm gonna do a little more work in the garden. I might sneak over to my elderly neighbor's house who became a widow and dig some weeds out of one of her planters and help her get it ready for planting. I know she's not really up to doing that, but she'd probably love to have some flowers planted there, so we'll see if I can do that. I won't be able to get too much done today because it's a bowling day. Got to make dinner a little earlier, but that's kind of what I got planned today. Walking Miss Meg, getting a little fresh air, a little bit of sun. The sun cooperates. Little sun does a body good. How about you, Ron? You're probably just hanging out inside. Okay, anytime now. Waiting for summer, right? Enjoying the day. You can definitely tell by the trees that spring is here. We have our apple tree budding out. And if you look at the top of the trees here, the thick kind of lumps on the ends of the branches are where they're leafing out too, or they're actually making their flowers. It seems like everything puts off flower blooms first here, and then after that you get the leaves if it's something that's going to bloom. And these don't really make true flowers, but it's the flower associated with this tree, right? Every tree's got its own form of something that puts off pollen. Can you see it better now? Well, that's about as much as I can zoom in with this, but anyway. And we got a doggy out running around here. Must be playing fetch. A retriever type breed. Sure is nice to enjoy this fresh air and this walk. Ron, thanks for joining us today. Muffin Lover, thanks for joining us today if you're still here. Relax Nate, thanks for joining us today. I don't know if I said your handle right. And I hope you all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.